Hi, I'm Mary.
And I'm Katie, and this is The Housewife Did It.
Pop Culture Edition. Welcome. Um, if you like our show, especially if you're new, welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Please share our show with other people that you think would enjoy. Feel free to like or subscribe depending on what platform you're listening on, or follow us and give us a review. Only if it's going to be 5 stars. If it's going to be less than 5 stars, you don't have to say anything.
Goodbye.
I want to do
Stay home.
yeah, I want to do a reel of like a bunch of different me saying hi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
This is
All
The
right.
Housewife Did It. If we
Yeah.
could clip together like how uninterested I look, but I
Yeah.
say it with the exact same voice. Last
Like
time
me,
I was
like looking
yawning.
at something, going hi.
Yeah, I was editing our last week's one, and I was like, I'm yawning and saying, "This is The Housewife Did It." We're fake.
Yeah. Are you ready to get started?
Yeah.
What a 2 weeks it has been.
Yeah.
We look like fools. And
Always.
you said it. You called it. You said, I don't know. I don't think Lindsay's pregnant. But I also said I didn't think Kyle and Mauricio were going to come back out and say they are getting a divorce. And here we
Because
are.
I say that, right? Like, how ridiculous would
Right.
it be to say so emphatically, like, I am not, just to 2 weeks later
Right.
be like, yeah, I am.
But here we are. Lindsay Hubbard is pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
At
After
this
her
point,
tour to convince
right.
us otherwise.
At this point, we need to start saying we don't believe things that we want to be true. Like,
Sure.
there's no way Taylor Swift is ever going to release Reputation and debut Taylor's version.
Ever.
2 weeks from now, see you. Um, Lindsay has already received some backlash since announcing her pregnancy around the fact that she did this through an ad with Clear Blue. But Lindsay addressed this directly, saying, one, if she can monetize something, why wouldn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. And two, she now has a baby to take care of, so she needs more money anyway. And I wholeheartedly agree with her. Here's the thing. I see a lot of people like nowadays being like, we are always like romanticizing the grind and like
Mm-hmm.
the hustle, and it's okay to like have hobbies and just do things because you want to do them. And I'm like, sure, but if I'm really good at it and I can
Mm-hmm.
make money off of it, why would I not sell
Yeah.
it, you
If
know?
I'm gonna do it anyway.
Right.
Well, also, like, I think that's so, like, kind of gross. Like, Bravo is monetizing the fuck out of
Right.
her life being ripped apart. And so, like, so
Right.
now we want to include ethics and be like, you shouldn't do that. Like, fuck off.
Of course.
Yeah, I like cannot believe though, like, I think this was the one thing that I was like, she's not pregnant, right?
Right.
Like, not only is she vehemently denying it, but also like she is literally the thinnest that she
Yeah.
has ever been. Like me and Mary are like sending pictures back and forth to each other going, "Oh no, like this breakup is not going well for her. Like she looks unwell, like she's
Yeah.
so thin." And then to find out that like that whole time she was pregnant is like
Right.
nuts bonkers.
Yeah.
And that she was probably about 2 months pregnant when they filmed the reunion where her midriff was showing.
Right. Like, and that's the thing, is that after she announced her pregnancy, she made one post with the Clear Blue ad announcing it. She made a second post with the same pictures saying like thank you for your kind words, and then she made another post with like kind of like a highlight reel of pictures she's taken since finding out she was
This is
pregnant.
all the stuff
And
I've
they
been doing.
right, and they include the something about her opening, the reunion, the Kleinfeld event she had, Andrea's wedding, another wedding that she went to with her boyfriend where she put a brown emoji over his face. Um and a brown heart emoji, sorry, not like a brown
Just poop.
person.
Just the
Well,
shit emoji.
I made a heart with my fingers, but this is an audio medium.
Mm-hmm.
Um so she's like, here are all the things that I did since I found out I was pregnant in April. And I was like, damn. Like, she came out to that reunion, and Andy was like, damn, bitch. Like, you look fit as
Revenge
hell.
dress.
Right.
Like, right.
Revenge body.
Yeah.
It's giving revenge body, and she was pregnant?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Wild. And, like, what an emotional roller coaster that must have been. Jesus Christ.
I know. And I feel like that's why she was like so like she was like, oh, I'm being nice, but like she just wasn't like lashing out, and like probably because she's trying not to stress herself out.
Yeah.
So like I said, she did post a picture from a wedding with her boyfriend, emoji blocked. She also posted him a little bit in the announcement photos, but only his hands, which had people guessing. My favorite guess was that the bracelets looked like a good match for Alex Propson from Below Deck Sailing Yacht and Winter House.
Yeah.
And then
and man, wouldn't that be some piping hot tea if Danielle ends up with Carl,
right,
and Lindsay ends up with Alex?
And people like really kind of doubled down on this theory because Daisy Kent commented on the post saying that she felt responsible for the pregnancy, which led people to believe that the mystery man could be a below deck person. However, I felt like probably not him, because Lindsay said he was a New York man and Alex is not. He lives in South Florida. Other people thought, let's still go the below deck route. Colin Macy O'Toole is from Below Deck and does live in New York and is from New York. But toward the middle of the week, her boyfriend's identity was made public online. And Lindsay posted about it on her story saying, quote, "Thank you, any fan account that has respected my boyfriend's privacy. This is not about us being proud of each other or not. He is so beyond proud to be my boyfriend and the father of my child, and vice versa. We are very much in love and have a beautiful relationship. This is about his work, his privacy, and the fact that it is not his job to be public like me." So
I do think in like recent years we have like correlated like privacy to like, oh, he must be embarrassed of you,
right,
and like how much of that is all based on Joe Alwyn, I don't know,
right,
but like I think that it's fair for what Lindsay went through and how soon after it is for her to just be like, I'm not like ready for that yet.
I do know his name, but I'm not gonna say it because they've asked for us not to.
And he's simple. Not. The name isn't gonna tell us anything.
Yeah,
I've read
You're
his
not
name,
gonna be
like,
oh my god,
he is not a Bravo celebrity. He is not someone you would know. So like, whatever.
Basically, they said he's a doctor, and he would like to keep his identity private for the sake of his practice and his patients. So like, let's respect that. But I'm just gonna tell you, it's not any of the Below Deck guys. So sorry. Several Bravo people also commented to congratulate her, including Paige and Amanda. And Paige, in her comment, said that she even scared herself with her manifestation.
Yeah, that was funny. Everyone showing that clip where Paige says, like, who knows, in a year you could be with your soulmate and having a baby.
Freaky. All right, moving on to Taylor Swift.
Tater. It was in the running for this dog's names.
Tater? Cute. So people think Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are engaged. Someone zoomed in on a video of them leaving the Eras tour together where Travis is wearing a tiny ring on his pinky finger that's like clearly like not all the way on. It's like not his size. And people think that maybe it's Taylor's engagement ring and he's holding on to it for her while she's on stage. To which I say,
hold on to it at home.
Right. If you're holding on to it like for the sake of no one knows she's engaged, don't you wear it to the Eras tour.
Or if you're holding on to it for the sake of not losing it, maybe not on a finger where it's already about to fall off.
Right. Don't bring it. And then
He's got pockets.
right.
What?
Then she played. Also, she has the entire backstage.
Yeah.
Why would he need to wear it?
Well, like, in my head, I'm thinking, like, oh, they're going out to dinner, and people think she just so badly has to wear it at dinner. She's not going to wear it at dinner anyway. Like, she's
Right.
not going to wear it when they leave, so, like, why won't they just leave it at home?
Right.
Come on now.
She got us. She played Mary's song and So High School and Everything Has Changed, which
So
has
cute.
people thinking it, like, even more. Like, they're like, she said, like, all I know since yesterday is everything has changed. They got engaged yesterday. I was like, okay.
How dare her write those lyrics 10 years ago?
Right.
I understand the invisible string, but damn.
Yeah.
Listen. We should honestly just become reporters and give zero of our opinions, because our skepticism here, not good most of the time. It's been proven wrong.
Yeah.
However, I do not get this. They are publicly in love.
Right.
They are publicly in a relationship. So her singing songs about how in love she is, how does that prove that they're secretly engaged? I think all it does is prove
the
that they're
yesterday
publicly
part.
in love. Yeah,
no, it's the yesterday part.
People have been saying it forever. She'll play a love song and they'll say, see, they're engaged. Or she'll, like, look at him and they'll say, see, they're engaged. No, they're in love.
They're dating.
They don't care who knows it. I'm in love and I don't care who knows it. Not engaged. Yeah. I mean, or they are. But, like, I don't know, man. I'm going to need more than that. But all these people are like me zooming into Taylor Swift's hands to see if she has a tan line on her engagement ring finger.
You think that woman has a tan line anywhere?
Also, I'm not trying to be whatever. She's not going to wear a ring anywhere. Her pictures are constantly being taken.
Right.
If they have had some sort of verbal agreement or, like, we're getting married, she is not wearing a ring.
Right.
Unless she's wearing it to bed. And she ain't getting a tan when she's wearing it to bed.
There's also speculation on something big coming. Pretty vague. Based on a TikTok trend that people say is reminiscent of the Reputation era. So for 11 weeks, I don't know what week we're on now, but TikTok is giving Swifties beads and banners for their profile pictures for completing challenges for each era. So, for example, this past week was Evermore, and fans had to make a video recreating the Willow set. Mm-hmm. And if you did
with
that,
an orb.
Yeah, if you did that in the video, you got the bead.
Mm-hmm. And this week is like folklore.
Yeah. It's folklore.
They have to do the running, the August running.
Yeah. I saw someone doing something different and they had it, but whatever. Most of every other week, I will say, except for Evermore, had been less specific. Like, I saw people getting it by just posting, like, pictures from the Eras tour with a certain song, but last week was specific. Anyway, the theory is that collecting all of the beads may get you some sort of verified fan status or reward for something. I don't know what. So,
like a reward.
People point out that these sort of activities are how you got verified fan status during the Reputation tour, but were eliminated before Loverfest and the Eras tour because people said that, like, it wasn't fair because people didn't have access to it.
Yeah.
So at that time, the system that they used for verified fan status received criticism because it was tailored to wealthier fans who, because I think for Reputation tour, you got points for buying things, if I'm not mistaken. Like, if you bought the album, you got a certain amount of points. If you bought merch for the album, you got a certain amount of points. And now, potentially, it's, like, exclusively linked to those who have a TikTok account.
And, like, I understand like you can get TikTok and stuff, but like I think there's a level of like not everyone's comfortable like making
Yeah.
videos of themselves and
Yeah.
putting them online.
Yeah.
But
My
I
favorite.
also would be kind of bummed if she did something super verified fan status
Right.
again, like just how badly like Ticketmaster and stuff went. But I don't
Yeah, and I think my favorite of the Evermore ones was a woman who did it on her break at her nursing job in the hospital, and she just kind of like did the dance, and then she did this, and somebody flipped a light switch on, and the light above her turned on, and that was her orb. It was so funny.
cute.
But and so like it doesn't have to be like extensive or like dramatic or anything. I saw someone do it with like a candle, like somebody do it with like a basketball. So like anyone could do it as long as they had TikTok, but also like the idea is that people think that this is hinting at another tour or at Reputation Taylor's version, and like you getting some sort of verified fan access. But one, she's already told us that the Eras tour is over in December. So unless she lied, which people be doing, and then taking it back 2 weeks later, um, unless she lied, I don't see it being for any kind of tour. Unless she's doing like a Tortured Post apartment tour, or she's releasing another album and doing a tour. But so people think it could either be verified fan status to get tickets for a tour, or verified fan status to be like the first in the know about Reputation Taylor's version. So I
From
don't
what
know.
I've seen, it ends shortly before September 13th, which people already think is like something. And obviously debut would be the last bead you get, so I think people think maybe debut around September 13th. There is an article out recently. It's not verified, but an article that says that she is releasing another album in 2025 and then doing another tour in 2026, which like people have a hard time believing because she usually gives us 2 years between albums, that like she would do Tortured Poets in April 2024 and then some like a new album, so like Karma or
Unless
like
it's not a
PS12.
new album, like
You
Karma.
sure, but it's new to us. I mean,
Yeah,
yes,
but
as far
like
as like the
people
writing process
write it.
goes. Yes, but I think like people are just saying like she does the 2 years thing. But also, you know, people have talked about like closing out like the eras and like entering like a whole separate like thing. So I guess then she could start doing them on whatever timeline she wants. I don't really know. So yes, people do think there could be a tour in a couple years for something new. And I just think it's like interesting that it seems to be like kind of like guaranteed knowledge around the world that like she will release both Taylor's versions by the end of this year. And it's just like, if that's true, then like when?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like not that there's not time, but like if she's gonna announce them, which I do still think she maybe won't announce Reputation.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I also though, like, obviously we've always kind of known that Karma will be or should be or is orange. But I've been loving like the cute, like that it's gonna be like orange and lilac.
Yeah.
And that it's gonna be like precious. Because I always thought like orange, like prison orange, like it's like hard. It's like orange and black, like because it's like ugh. But then I'm like, oh, it could be like sunsetty, like cute.
But isn't the idea that like Karma and Reputation are supposed to be like sister albums? So maybe they get released
So what if
together?
debut comes out fall, whatever, in the next few months? Reputation gets dropped like right at the end of the year, like end of the tour. maybe no announcement. And then Karma is the 2025 album, and it follows like Folklore and Evermore, like a couple months or whatever later. Could be. Could be. Last couple of things that are just fun. Hannah Berner's Netflix special is out now. It's called We Ride at Dawn. Cute. And she looks really fucking good with black hair.
I know.
Incredible. And Gypsy Rose Blanchard has announced that she is pregnant with her post-divorce boyfriend's baby, which she's probably not even officially divorced yet, but
Post-divorce ex-boyfriend. Boyfriend.
Mm-hmm. True.
All right. I saw someone say that they're so sad because there's nothing new coming out on Bravo that they can look forward to. False. The Real Housewives of Dubai is on Peacock every Wednesday for you.
Okay, Mary. You're
Don't
preaching
you
here.
worry.
Do you know what's on Peacock every night except Wednesday? For you?
It fits perfectly into your schedule.
It fits perfectly into your schedule, Mary.
So, Real Housewives of Dubai. I
Sell
love
us
Real
on
Housewives
it.
of Dubai. It's so fun.
Sell us.
Okay. So, there have been some clear splits. So, this is only the second season. And there have been some clear splits and like recoupling kind of the friend groups. So, last year, we had some clear duos. We had Ayan and Lisa, Stanberry and Brooks, and Nina and Sarah. Okay. But they all like got along pretty well. I think the main issues were Ayan and Lisa did not like Stanberry, but everyone else got along really well. But then Sarah went to the media and said that Ayan was playing. This was before the season started. So this is like, we get this first episode. Sarah went to the media and said that Ayan was playing the victim by telling her story of being circumcised at 5 years old. She says...
Playing or being?
Right. She says that they're saying it wrong. She said, that's not what I said. What she actually said was that even though Ayan was a victim as a child, when this happened, she cannot use that experience to get away with whatever behavior she wants as an adult.
Sure.
I don't know what Ayan is supposed to be getting away with, though. I don't know what she's doing that she's trying to get away with that constitutes this comment. Secondly, Ayan is particularly hurt by this because Sarah went with her to the hypnotherapy session where she disclosed the incident that they're referring to. And so she said that it felt like Sarah's the one that was like the first one to hear this in the group and like process it with her, and then it felt just like Sarah had turned on her, and now Sarah is like refusing to apologize. Like, she's not just saying like they misquoted me. She's like, they misquoted me, but I stand by what I said and I'm not sorry about it, and that's hurting Ayan's feelings. So that's like the background of the split. So Stanberry and Lisa have rallied around Ayan, which is crazy because they didn't like Stanberry last year. Now they're all buddies. And so they made a trio. And then that's causing an issue because Lisa is jealous of Ayan and Stanberry becoming so close. And then on the other side of things, Talene, who's new, and Brooks have rallied around Sarah, which is aided by the fact that Brooks called Stanberry a cunt, and Stanberry is refusing to speak to her. But getting into the last couple of episodes, so we had this like clear split with Ayan, Lisa, and Stanberry on one side of things, Sarah, Talene, and Brooks on the other side of things. Last couple weeks, though, Talene and Brooks, who are besties, have broken up, it seems. So Talene called Brooks out for tattling on Stanberry for talking shit about Talene. And Brooks is like, that's what best friends do. They let you know when someone is being shady about you. And Talene is like, but you're stirring the pot. She's like, you're not like saying it to look out for me, like you're saying it to stir the pot. And then on their girls' day out in the desert, Talene brings this to the whole group and is like, here's what happened. Is she being a good friend or is she stirring the pot? And Stanberry's like, wait a fucking second. I have never talked shit about you, though. So not only is it stirring the pot, but she's making it up. And Brooke said, well, that's my opinion.
Okay.
That's not how that works. It needs to be a fact.
Well, like if she said something that one of them perceives as shit talking and the other doesn't, but
Yeah.
if she didn't say anything at all.
So this prompted Talene and Stanberry to start hanging out more, which Sarah and Brooks thinks is a way to make them jealous. So then they start hanging out more to make Talene and Stanberry jealous back. The problem is that they don't care.
Everything's
not why they're hanging
not
out.
about me, but what if it is?
So Sarah and Stanberry had gotten close kind of at the end of last season because Sarah and Sergio, who's Stanberry's husband, are close friends. But now Sergio and Stanberry are kind of going through it anyway. So Sergio's kind of talking shit about her to Sarah. And so that's probably not helping. But also interesting on Dubai. And I like the reason I think I like Dubai is because everyone is different. There's not a single person who has like the same culture as anyone else. So Sarah has been seeing a guy named Akeen, and they kind of like make things official. He basically is like, I don't want you to date other people, and I don't want to date other people. And she was like, no, me too. But they kind of leave it there. And she says that like they're waiting to like really say that they're a couple because in their religion that basically means that like they're going to get married. But he checks all of her boxes and her son's boxes, so that's good. And the previews show more drama to come in both the relationships part of the show, so Sarah and Akeen and Stanberry and Sergio, and the women's friendships. So we shall see. But I'm really liking Dubai. It reminds me a lot of New York, I think, because like, and I'm sure I feel like it's like this for every like rookie season of Housewives, where like everyone comes in and they're friends, and then you see drama play out and see where those splits happen. But it was interesting because like coming in, like they all got along really well, and now
Yeah.
like everything is crazy.
Yeah, like when they start, it is obviously, but it's like less about like hiring for a job and more about like we're filming a friend group that already exists.
Right. And
which, speaking of, the Salt Lake City next season preview should be coming out soon.
So Nina is not in season 2, but Talene is. They're gonna explain that like Talene enters the group through Brooks, and I think that like that's kind of also interesting because like not everyone gets along with Brooks, and so then that kind of affects who Talene gets along with, and I think that's why there's so much drama between the two of them right now, because I think Brooks is like, I brought you into this group and now you're hanging out with the people that are not me.
And
she's like, I can do what the fuck I want.
True.
Also, her husband's family built the Palm in Dubai, which is like their main attraction, and that's bonkers to me. Like, those are some rich women.
Yeah. All right, are you ready for this?
I guess so.
Okay. Well, I went time. So first of all, let me just say that like this season, Love Island USA's viewership has doubled. They're knocking it out of the park. A lot of people said that they came for Ariana, but they stayed because man, is it good. And I just love, like, it's very, like, you're watching these girls, like, make toxic decisions, but you, like, relate. And then, like, they show things on camera that you're sitting there thinking, oh, Bachelor would never show me that. But whatever. I love it. So we finally got movie night, which is crazy. So after Kaylor very quickly forgave Aaron for his indiscretions in Casa, he told her that he loved her mid-fight, might I add. He just got so frustrated with her that he said, I love you. And it was so romantic. And Kaylor loved it. And that's sad. In that moment, they decided that they're closed off. Because Aaron just hasn't quite made it to asking her to be his girlfriend. So closed off is the best he can give this person that he loves. No fucking shit, you're closed off. You love me. But he did all this. They did all their making up before movie night had even arrived. So this led to some speculation or just memeing online that Aaron, who previously is the winner of Traders UK, may have come here just to win the competition part and may really not be that well versed in how this show goes. Although I will say in last night's episode, he did say, like, something that made me think, like, oh, he has seen this show before. But maybe he just was not prepared for movie night. So at movie night, obviously Kaylor saw some things that she did not know about. Like the fact that Aaron was the one initiating.
What is movie night?
So they all sit around and watch clips from the season of each other doing things. They're not watching
a movie.
No.
Oh. I didn't ask because I was like, oh, obviously they're watching a movie.
No.
Okay.
They're watching, they like play a game and then they get to vote on like clips to watch and they get to watch each other do stuff that was outside of each other's purview the entire time. So, it seems Aaron was the one initiating kisses with Daniela outside of challenges. Surprise, surprise, that's not how he told Kaylor it was going. Also, she got to see him unable to stand up afterwards because he had a boner, which the men on Love Island do a lot. He told Daniela that this is much more than a test of his relationship back at the villa, that he actually likes her. And all of this was shown to Kaylor shortly after Aaron got done telling her, I didn't even need to be tested because I knew it was you and I was going to come back to you. So that sucked for her to watch. And I will say, like, a lot of, like, Kaylor's problems were like, well, you didn't tell me that happened. And Aaron's like, I told you everything that, like, I thought was important. And it's like, yes, I don't know. Like, I get Kaylor that, like, watching it in real time is, like, different. And, like, watching him act a certain way or, like, so it's obviously different for Kaylor to hear her man say, like, yeah, I was kind of into her. We kissed a couple times. It's, like, different to then, like, watch him be, like, really into it. But I also don't really know what she expected them to tell her. Like, she keeps saying, like, they didn't mention that. They didn't mention that. Like, as far as, like, you asking him, like, what he did over in Casa, like, do you really think he's going to include, like, and then I got a boner? Like, right. No, he's not. Which also, like, even without movie night, she was going to see it eventually. This is on TV, but whatever. So, although this turned into a giant screaming match where Aaron was yelling at Kaylor and all of her friends, they somehow ended up fine at the end. And kissing and still in love, all because he gave her a seashell as a gift. He gave her a gift that he stumbled upon. Awesome. Somehow movie night brought Cordell and Serena closer together. Strange. Also, like, how embarrassing for Dea, the girl that Cordell brought back, because her family was like posting on Instagram being like, Cordell, be with Daya. And then Cordell's family was posting and being like, make it up to Serena. Get back to her. So that sucks. Also they got to see in movie night Leah talking mad shit about Rob from earlier in the season. And like everyone seems to think that this made her look bad and like crazy and like she can't handle her emotions. It's kind of nuts to me the way that these men are gaslighting Leah into feeling bad that she called Rob a bitch after he like left her for the first girl that walked in. Like, come on now. But it did make sense to them because they had done a challenge where they got to read America's tweets about them. And someone had posted or tweeted that Leah like mocks male vulnerability.
Good.
And so now all the guys are like, oh, I like didn't know what that was about, but like now I get it. Miguel and Kendall and basically all of the guys have a bunch of stupid comments about like, do you really want a wife that acts like that? Or like, do you really want to be with someone who like that's their behavior? And like, do they really want men that are out there getting boners every time they talk to any woman ever? Come on now. They also find out in the challenge that Daya was allegedly commenting on posts of Odell Beckham Jr., which means nothing to you if you don't know that Cordell is Odell Beckham Jr.'s brother. And Cordell has said on the show that girls will often try to get to his brother through him. So then this girl who's been commenting on his brother's post now shows up at the villa and is like, the only person I'm interested in is Cordell. And now everyone's like, But she cried and said that makes her look bad, and that's not at all true. She's never commented on one of his posts. So America just made that up. Oogie. Kendall is losing the feminist guy edit as time goes on, so that sucks. He was like the girl's best friend, and his girl keeps having to tell him like, you're not understanding, like you acting like this is very different from the other guys because like they all love you, and when they're watching you on camera, tell their man like to make out with someone else and to like don't feel bad, like you should get to do whatever you want. Like they don't like that. But then Kendall got upset because Serena said fuck Kendall, and he like cornered her. He's like got her in the kitchen and he's like, Serena, I don't like hearing you say fuck Kendall. And he's like doing it with a smile, but every time she moved, he like followed her like this. And I'm like, okay, fuck off. Yeah. Leave that tiny girl alone. But then it's weird because he made them breakfast and they're all like, Kendall, we love you. It's fine. But Kendall not as good as we all thought. At the recoupling, it is no surprise that Daya and Catherine went home because almost every single one of the guys regretted bringing their Casa girls back. Embarrassing.
I don't understand this. What does that mean?
Casa?
Yeah.
Do you remember on Paradise?
I thought that's where they were all at. I thought that's what the place was called.
The place is called the Villa.
Oh.
The Love Island Villa. Do you remember on Bachelor in Paradise when they did that thing, they introduced this concept where like the girls were going to go to a different place and there were going to be new guys there?
Yes.
They stole that from Love Island.
Okay.
It's Casa Amor. And so basically like it's this like week, or I think it was like 4 days, where new guys will come into the villa and then the guys will go to a different place and new girls will come in there. And it's supposed to like test relationships. But these guys that were already like pretty committed, I mean, they weren't closed off, but like they took that for some reason as a reason to do whatever they wanted. So like Aaron and Kaylor had like showered together and had said that they were falling for each other and had like done things together. And then he goes over here and he's making out with this girl and saying like, I really like you, within like 2 days. And so Kaylor's pissed. And then Cordell, who's been with Serena since day one, went to Casa and he was like dry humping with this girl in bed, and they sent them a story from Casa. So the girls already knew this when their men came back. They had already seen it on their phones. Messy. And so they're like, fuck off. But Aaron came back single. Cordell came back with the girl and is like, but I still want to be with you, Serena. And she's like, I don't think you understand. And Ariana had to say to some of these men, like, you understand, like, you're in a couple now with this new girl. Like, that's the point of bringing her back. Like, it's not like we just want more people in the villa because it's fun. Like, you're in a couple now. And they're like, I don't know. So all the guys except one brought a girl back. All of the girls, except one, and she was single anyway, all of the girls chose to stay single for their men. And then their men walked in with other girls. But then every single one of these men ended up back with their old girl because they regretted it. Also, the thing about Casa women, not to shit on them, but the whole point is to get into the villa. Whether it's for TV or for just the fact that, like, that opens you up to find more people. The whole point is to come back so that you can, like, keep being on this show. So they're going to do whatever they have to do to get back. And all of these men are a bunch of chumps who let them back and then were like, oh, I don't really like her.
Yeah, why did I do that?
That was silly of me. So Rob ends up having to make the tiebreaker decision. So he either gets to pick Daniela, who is his girl at this point, but Daniela was also Aaron's girl in Casa, and she only switched to Rob at the last minute, and now Rob has seen video footage of her saying the same things to Aaron that she says to him, and he's like, ooh, I don't know about that. So I'm thinking maybe he is going to pick Liv because she's his friend, but he doesn't. He picked Daniela, and Liv has to go home, which is fine because I don't really like Liv, but Liv has been there since the beginning and is close with all of the girls, so it was pretty heartbreaking to watch. I'm not a big fan of Liv and Kaylor, but something that we don't get on a lot of relationship shows is that it has been incredible watching these friendships. They are so down for each other. They, like, bicker, but then they're like, no, like, I gotta ride for my girls. And they did a little montage at the end about the girl friendships, and Ariana was crying, and I was crying, and it was so sad that these girls who were, like, supposed to fight each other, like, refuse most of the time. Also at movie night, this is the part where I say, like, we would never see this on Bachelor. Liv was going at Leah, and Leah was yelling back at her, and Kaylor's doing this. She's going, whoa, 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 get your finger out of my face. And Serena leans over and is like, what are you doing? Like, she's not doing anything to you. And Leah says, okay, it's giving white woman scared. And it was incredible. And, like, Leah is white passing. Her family all speaks Farsi. And, like, it's interesting, like, her and the black girls are the ones looking at Kaylor going, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, no one's trying to hit you right now. Like, chill out. Fun news, Katie Maloney is on her way to Fiji, as well as the girls from Chicks in the Office, who recently just said on their podcast, hey, Peacock, we hope you hear this. We'd love to come to Fiji. And then they said, okay. So, Peacock, we don't have much longer, but please.
Yeah. We would also like to go to Fiji.
Harrison and Cassie from last year are about to join the Islanders, which could be fun because last year Cassie discovered her bisexuality on the show. So could come in and shake things up if she likes any of the girls. And then the sad news is the Love Island USA finale is on the 21st. So the next time we are recording, it will be over.
Sad.
Feel sad because everyone in my life, I want to, like, tell them, like, you have to watch this. But I can't in good conscience, like, recommend a show that comes on 6 nights a week to people and be like, I hope you don't have a life.
Right.
Because first of all, you're going to have to catch up on, like, 35 episodes already. Second, it comes on 6 nights a week. So have fun.
That's why I don't want to watch it. Because I don't want
to so much,
devote that much time to it. I will say, on The Bachelor a few seasons ago, there was a situation where this girl, who was black, told this girl who was white that she didn't want to start a fight with her because like the white girl kept like trying to like argue with her,
Yeah.
and Kylie was like, I don't want to start a fight with you, and like I
Yeah, I
don't want to
remember
talk
this.
about this. And the girl
And she
went
was
to
like,
the
she
Bachelor
threatened to
and
fight
said,
me.
yeah, she threatened to hit me. And Kylie told her, like, I think it was Kylie. She was like, I think that you're saying that because I'm black.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah, and I think
you wouldn't really think I'm gonna hit you if I said that.
and it's like kind of nuts the way that like afterward they all were like they like made up. And like on the one hand that's like frustrating because I want Kaylor to have to like sit in that. But
Yeah.
on the other, it's like good for Leah that she feels comfortable to just like say it. Okay, like I said the thing like that I think is true, which is you're giving white women scared, but then like we're friends and otherwise like we've been fine, so like I'm gonna let it go.
Yeah.
But I'm so sick of like people are like, y'all are crazy if you like Leah, if you think like she's giving like girl's girl or you think she's, and I'm like, fuck off. And like that's what I mean by like this is so real that like yeah, are they all being toxic? Yeah. Yeah, they are. But like you're not like the standard is like unrealistic on a lot of these shows, and here it's like if it were me and this man just did that to me and then went and cried and hid under the pool, guess what I'm going to say? He's being a fucking bitch. And I'm going to say he's giving me the ick. And if that means that like I don't handle male vulnerability well, maybe men should stop doing me dirty.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Bachelor, we got the Bachelorette premiere.
Sweet girl.
First of all, Jen is so fucking cute,
Mm-hmm.
and she is drop dead gorgeous.
It's so sad. I saw in like an interview, they're like, what can we expect from this season? And the first thing she said is like, you can expect a lot of imposter syndrome from me. And I'm like, that's like her main takeaway from the season. Like, that is so sad.
I love her.
But also, like, fair.
Yeah. Some things I loved about the first night. First of all, the Truth or Dare game. I thought that was so smart. I don't know how that's never been done before.
Was this like show initiated or like Jen initiated?
So I don't really know. The guys kind of made it sound like they came up with the idea.
Okay.
I doubt
probably
they
production.
did. But they were like, we know Jen loves to party, so we want to do like a party. And we're gonna play some games. But it was like a huge like Truth or Dare dice. So I think it would have had to be show brought on, and so that way instead of like choosing Truth or Dare, they had to roll a dice, and then they had to choose a Truth or Dare card and read it and do or answer the question on it. I think it was such like a smart way to get to know the men when you have such little time to talk to everyone, but also they had like so much fun with it, and like it got to like show their personalities. Like one guy was dared to go streaking through the house. They were asked like questions about relationships, and so like and they seemed to really like it. I think it was such a good idea. Also, I loved they all seemed like so excited for her and invested in her like from the jump. A lot of them, their entrances were like shot o'clock references.
Like they paid attention.
Yeah. Easily my favorite entrance of the night was the guy who came in and he said, "My last name is Win, so we could make this a win-win situation."
That's hilarious.
That cracked me up. But I also want to know Thomas A's entrance. He brought her 2 puppies, and Jesse.
And now they've been sacrificed?
Jesse Palmer immediately came in and took them. And and Jen was like, I want to keep them. And then Jesse like walked off with them. So I want to know what happened to the puppies. But there were some good entrances. And they were all talking. They were like, I'm so excited you're the Bachelorette, and like talking about like how beautiful Jen is, and like they just really seemed jazzed for her. Unfortunately, though, we are already getting some villain energy from some of the guys. So Jeremy pulled up in a sports car. He did not just pull up in the sports car though. He revved the engine 50,000 fucking times, which had a lot of the guys feeling like he was overcompensating for something. And actually, that's exactly what he said to Jen when he got out of the sports car. He said, "A lot of people are going to think I'm overcompensating for something, but my penis is actually really big."
I
And she
thought
was
you were
like,
going to say he got out and said, "Hi, I'm overcompensating for something."
Jen was like, "Okay."
She's like, "I am little goal.
Yeah.
I don't care. That's not what I'm looking
She
for.
was like,
I'm tiny."
I can't believe he said that. And so automatically I was like, don't like it, because
Yeah.
that to me like feels like giving a dick pic, almost like an unsolicited dick pic, being like, hey, my penis is huge.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't ask. I'm uncomfortable. I didn't like it. And then so then when him and Jen had their like one-on-one talk, they were sitting in the car,
Okay.
and all of a sudden like the lock beeping sound starts happening, just like, and the headlights would flash and be like beep 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 beep. And it was because Brian, another guy in the house, had taken the keys to the car and was interrupting their conversation and told Jeremy that he had to get out of the car because it was his car now, because he had the keys. Jeremy said, "Oh, do you have my keys?" And he said, "No, these are my keys now."
Okay.
He said, "No." And he was like, "Yeah, it's time to get out of the car." And it was also, I hated it. And he was like, it's my turn to talk to Jen. And actually, Jen interrupted him and said, "We'll have our time later, I promise. Like, we will get a chance to talk. But like, we're talking right now." But Jeremy was like, "You know what? It's fine. Please don't let him drive the car. I don't think that's a good idea. But he can have it, whatever." And
Brian, what a way to like let this man end up on top. Like, he was digging himself a grave. Like,
no,
let him.
sorry, Jeremy's the one that said you can have the car.
Right, but I'm saying, like,
yes,
if Jeremy's right, the one being nice at the end and saying, like, yeah, it's fine, like, y'all can just stay here, like, you could have let this man just keep fucking himself over, and, right, like, instead, you made yourself the villain? Yeah. Back up!
I'm actually surprised that Brian ended up getting a rose after this, because Jen, like, really did not seem impressed by his behavior. And, like, when he got in the car, she said, like, that was bold of you to say and do all of that. And, like, she just seemed annoyed by it. But
well, whatever. She's probably thinking that same thing. Like, I already didn't really like this Jeremy guy, and now, like, you're making yourself worse than him? Cool.
Yeah, but Brian did get a rose, as they so often do.
Yeah.
Jonathan came in with his face concealed but his ass out. So he came in on a stretcher. His head was completely wrapped in bandages, and he was wearing a hospital gown. And he said that he was lovesick. And that he told them the cure would be found at the Bachelor Mansion. Most of the guys did find it funny. Some were annoyed with it, and they like thought that his face was covered because he was like a celebrity or something. Like, they were like, who is it? He let Jen unwrap the gauze, and he was not a celebrity, but the guys were kind of nervous because he turned out to be hot. But it was funny because he walked in the room. He's like a brown man. He walked in the room, and Hakeem went, "Yeah!" And I said, "Oh, he's so excited. There's another brown guy." Hakeem was thrilled. Then
I just wanted to see what he looked like. And it's this whole article. 5 things to know about Jonathan. Number 1, he is of medium height.
Yeah, he is. That's true.
But, like, why do I need a bio like this?
Yeah.
Oh! He does have a famous connection. Okay, not that exciting. He's friends with Halsey's brother.
Oh, so not even related.
Yeah.
I also felt like Sam M was already getting a villain edit, and I can't really explain how other than the fact that he gives Luke vibes from Hannah Brown season. He looks like him, and he just like I just was like, oh, it's Luke. And then in true Luke fashion, he goes and gets the first impression rose, which I had a feeling he would based on entrances, because like he came in and she was like, he's so cute, like I really liked him. But I was hoping that Devin would get it based on their one-on-one conversation. But whatever. When Devin first came out of the limo, I said, oh my god, he sounds like Pete Davidson. And Sammy said, I was about to say that. And then it cut, like the show cut to Jen, and she was like, he reminds me of Pete Davidson. And I was like, okay, so Universal. But so Sam M got the first impression rose, and I will say, based on previews, it does look like he's gonna be the villain. But whatever. The men who went home are Brandon, which I completely blame on his entrance. He got out of the car and immediately ate 2 hot peppers, and then he couldn't talk to her. And then she got kind of annoyed because he didn't offer her one. So he was like sweating and like not breathing well and trying to like say hello to her, and then he just walked off. Dakota, which I blame on the fact that I think he's got to be someone's specific type.
Okay.
He's got like white. He's got a white buzz cut. He's like short and skinny. He's a sommelier. I think he's like, like an artsy bisexual girl's dream.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But
he's like, he seems great. I just don't think, I think you have to be specific for someone who looks like that.
Those brows.
Yeah, he's cute. He's got good fashion. Dakota, no, I already said that. Kevin, who is boring.
Fair.
That's why he went home.
Goodbye.
Immediately. Matt, who has a weird mustache. He's a black man with red, like seems to be like naturally red hair. Which is like a stunning combination. He looks great, but his mustache is weird. And then Mose, Ricky, and Brett, which I don't have to blame on anything specific other than they're probably also kind of boring. Also, I didn't see Ricky talk to her one time, but I saw him talk to every single man in that house. So, whatever. But people are really bummed about Brett being sent home. Plus the fact that he didn't have a lot of screen time, since he's really the first contestant we've had with his body type. But he has quickly become a fan favorite. The only thing I remember about him was them showing him joking a couple times, and I felt like, okay, they're going to like edit him to be like the funny fat friend. Like that's going to be his role this season, and then they're going to be like, there's no like sexual chemistry between them because he's just the funny fat friend. But I do think we should also take into consideration that maybe he did not get a lot of screen time because he didn't get a lot of Jen time.
Sure.
And maybe that's why he was sent home. Like, because maybe they didn't show him because he didn't talk to her very much. But either way,
I mean, maybe she didn't talk to him because
she wasn't interested.
No. She's not interested.
Either way, I think he has great potential in Bachelor Nation for other things, other shows. Big fan favorite. And the previews truly have all the makings of a successful season. Aaron Erb, who is Noah Erb's twin. They consistently say he's his older twin. Okay. Are we in second grade? He warns her that someone is there for the wrong reason, which is never good.
Never a good choice.
But
buddy.
somehow he makes it worse by refusing to tell.
Show.
Right.
I know.
Like surely someone warned you. But somehow he made it worse than usual by refusing to tell her who it is.
So it's you.
Jen does something that Jesse Palmer says no Bachelorette has ever done before.
Yeah, she.
I think she's gonna propose to someone.
Oh.
That's my guess.
She did. She made a vague hint that like there really is something that happens this season that's never happened. So.
Yeah. They also like the first thing they showed on the premiere was something from the finale where she says like somebody walks up and she says, "I cannot let you say anything or propose to me right now." So I also think she just is like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Plenty of men will say they are falling for her. That's kind of where Sam shows up in the previews. Is he says like he says like I love you, and she says why, and then it cuts to her crying and saying, how are you gonna say you love me when you don't even really know me?
Fair.
Yeah.
Drag him.
And I think that he's the one they're talking about when they say someone's not here for the right reasons, because they have a bunch of men saying that, and then it cuts to that scene where he's like, I love you. So I think that's what they're hinting at. We shall see. I know a lot of people did not have high hopes for this season because like I feel like Jen is someone we don't know as well as other bachelorettes that are cast because she didn't make it as far as others have. She also has like been open about some of the comments she's been receiving. She posted one where somebody said we wanted white with blonde hair. And so
there's plenty of shows out there for you.
Right. But I think that she's like not going to take any shit on that. It was also like really nice watching her conversation. So Thomas I liked her conversation with him because he like showed her his tattoos, and he was like, that's like the Korean flag, and like was explaining like his experience in like an immigrant family, and then she like explained her experience, and like I think that that's nice to like already see those like conversations happening where she gets to share a lot of that with people, because we don't get that from white and blonde. So
it's true.
I think she's doing great.
Woo! Go Jen.
Yes. Hey Jen. That's it.
Thanks for hanging with us.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.